Welcome back to Epi Studios. We are here at the step where we finish doing the short rows, and we are now going to start creating the raglan part, continuing the raglan part, and only increasing at each raglan side for the shoulders. Okay, so in order to continue, you're going to need to have markers of 2 colors. And the reason why we want markers is because I'm going to choose yellow and the light blue. It's because you are going to count. We have to count. We already completed the short rows. Now we're going to start working in the round. That means that we're always going to be working on the right side of our garments. So if you remember, we put a marker on the front of our garment, and this is also the right side of the garment, and this is the inside of the garment, the wrong side. In order to continue working in the round, creating our raglan yoke part of the sweater, you have to know, you have to count how many rows we have and how many rows after your ribbing. So if you notice right here, see if I can get closer to the camera. I counted 14 rows. We have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 1 right here. 10, 11. See this tiny little one? That's when we did the increase. 12, 13. And the one that we're going to be working will be the 14. So you have your rows. You know how many rows you have. Okay? And if you're in doubt, you might want to make sure that you count it again. Okay? So what happens from here on is that you're going to put a marker on your row so you know which row you're working on. And I'm just going to put it right here before the increase. See how we already have completed the increase there? I'm going to put it on the last stitch of that row. My last stitch will be this one. I'm going to put it on the one that is completed, okay? So what happens is that this reminds me on what row I'm doing. So to continue, you're going to only increase on the even rows. This one that we're doing is row 14, so it's an even row. That's where you're going to do your increase before 4 stitches and after the 4 stitches. This is how you're going to keep making your sweater longer and bigger on your shoulders. You're not going to be working on the wrong side anymore. So you're going to increase twice on each raglan side. Okay, so let's go ahead and complete this row. My beginning of row is here. So I have already done my 2 raglan increases here, my 2 raglan increases here. So let's go ahead and complete. And how do we complete it? We've completely finished doing the short rows. So now we're just going to keep knitting in the round. Right here, I'm approaching the last short row turn. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to knit it together, the 2 strings together. Make sure that you got both. And you're going to knit it. And there. You have resolved the last one, and we're going to continue to knit in the round until we get to the marker. That's our beginning of round. Okay, so in this round, I am not going to increase because I did my increase on the round before. See how there's my increase on the round before? So this round for me, just because this is how it ended up happening for my rounds, on this round, even though it's an even round, I do not increase. I'm going to just knit until my beginning marker. So let's go ahead and do that, and we will continue. I will meet you at the beginning of the marker, okay? Okay, we have come to the beginning of the round, to the beginning of the marker. If you can see, here's my increase from the row before. So I'm just going to complete this last 5 stitches with my just knitting. I'm not making any increases in this row because on my last row I increased. Okay, I passed my marker, and I always knit one more, and then I check my work. So what you want to do now, if you notice, my cable is exactly how it is. So I'm going to have to change my cable for a bigger one because your raglan yoke part will start increasing a lot, and it's going to end up looking like this one. See this one, how much bigger it is? We have here about 3 inches, and I have a bigger cable. So all you're going to do is your interchangeable needles, you're going to unscrew them and screw them to a bigger cable and pass it through your work. So at this point right here, I want you to go try your raglan sweater, okay? And we are trying it for the purposes of your ribbing, making sure that this part of your ribbing fits your head, and it also fits your neck, and that it's not extremely tight, and that it's not going to be choking you. Because this is a size large, you see a lot more stitches, and we are making the size small, you're going to see less stitches. But if you notice, the ribbing, it stretches a lot with this material. Obviously, depending on what yarn you're using, is going to have either more stretchiness or less. So more elasticity or less elasticity. Okay? So please go ahead and try it on. Obviously, we want to sew in this part. So let's do that right now. I'm going to show you how to sew this part. So get your tapestry needle, and we are going to sew it. Okay, so your complete ribbing is completed. Okay, with the tail end from when you cast it on, that's what we're going to use to sew this together. And the reason why I do this, like I explained to you in the first episode of this series of videos, is because I have a bad right hand, and I have a hard time working small needles in a circle. I get a lot of pain. Right now I have a lot of pain in my shoulder. So I need to take a break from my projects and just take care of my shoulder. So we pass it through there, through the first stitch. We make sure that it's secure. And we're gonna pass it one more time, okay? We want to secure this beautiful raglan sweater that you're working so hard on this, okay? So we have our 2 sides, and all I do is I'm gonna go through this side, and then I'm gonna go through this side, and I'm gonna bring it back to the center. Okay, so I'm going to be mimicking a stitch, okay? Once I have that secure, I'm gonna go under and inside that stitch, and I'm gonna go on the other side, and I'm gonna also go inside that layer, and I'm gonna go under again. Okay. And we are going to continue sewing our little space that we have here all the way down. And it's going to look just like a stitch. You're barely gonna be able to see the difference. Okay, so continue working. There's many ways of sewing knitted work. Okay, you can go this way also. I like to go this way. I think I have it from the stitch work that I used to do, embroidery work. That's how I used to work it. So that's why mine, I tend to do that. Okay, but there's no wrong way for you to do it. So the point of this is to secure your work and to make sure that it looks very professionally done. Okay, want to make sure that we're keeping a nice seam, and it looks good and professional. Okay, and I am very weird when it comes to sewing. Most of you guys know that I don't like sewing, but when I sew a knitting piece, I make sure that it's well done. I even go through it twice, because I don't like when things open up or when you wash it and it doesn't look right. So I just want to secure the piece and make sure that it is completely sewn together and that my work is not going to unravel. You know, I don't have that problem when it comes to crocheting, because in crochet I also don't like sewing. But when it comes to knitting, I feel that things are going to unravel. I don't know why. So I make sure that I join it really well and that I secure it, especially because this yarn is Merino Super Wash. So I want to make sure that I wash my piece, especially because this is a gift. And when people don't know what it is to have garments that are made from wool, they don't know how to take care of them. So you have to teach them, and you have to make sure that everything is pretty secure. So if you can see, you can't see it. I'm gonna bring it closer to you. You can't even see the seam at all. And of course, for those of you that can do it in the round because you don't have a problem like I do with my hand, go ahead and do it in the round. Not a problem. And I like these needles that have a tip that is like curved. You notice my needle is curved, because that helps with the sewing process. Okay, we're almost done. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to hide the little bit of thread, the yarn that I have left. And we are done with this part. There we go. We are completely done with this. And we are going to hide our thread, give it another round. Make sure that I don't run out of yarn. And I complete, there you go. Can you see the difference? Not much. And look, the elasticity is there. Look at that. This is perfect. You stretch it, you don't see any holes. Excellent. So all I'm gonna do is gonna send the yarn to the back. And I'm going to, I always knot it. They say that it's not good knotting in knitting, but I do. I'm sorry, that's just my way of doing it. I give it a little knot and then I hide it. Because if when you're hiding it, it becomes undone, at least you know that you have a knot there that is not going to come apart at all. So go ahead and hide it all the way to the top and you will be done. And I even bring it all the way to the first layer. Do it again in the same area if I have good space. And then I throw it in the center. And this is just my preference, okay? You can do whatever is best for you, because I'm just paranoid about things getting unraveled. I do it multiple times. And you always also want to make sure that you are stretching to give it enough movement, okay? There. Perfect. So now all you have to do is cut it, and then we will be done. And I don't have my scissors with me, but I'll leave it there. Okay. Now, after you try it on and it fits you fine, we will continue. Uh-oh, I lost my beginning of the round. Not a good thing. How did I lose it? But this happens. You just have to put it back there. Okay, now I want you to do 23 rows. Okay, 23 rows. I need you to please write it down. I'm at row 14. It was row right side. RS means right side. So I'm keeping track of my rows. I completed row 14, check mark. These numbers are from before, my notes from before. So you wanna be writing down all your rows. My row 15 is gonna be always a right side because we're working in the round, remember? But in this right side of my next row that I'm going to start is going to be an increase row, okay? INC, we're going to increase on row 15. You need to write it down, and you also want to put that marker on it. So row 15, I'm going to increase, and my increase color marker is blue. So when you see the marker blue on your garment, that tells you that you have an increase row, okay? So you have to write it down. So this I use for an example of the increase before, okay? We are right at the beginning of the row right now where I lost my marker. And we are going to start our row. If you notice, my increased row was the previous row. That's for me because that's how my numbers ended up working. For you, it could be the row that you're on right now. So this is my increased row. This is my stitch. So this tells me that I have increased on the previous row. I'm going to remove this one that I used for an example earlier. Okay, so now I have a marker for the beginning of my row, and I have this other marker right here where I did my previous increase. Okay, now this round that I finished is done, and I don't need. So it's my round 14. I did a regular increase. I have and make one. And you want to make sure that you check your work before you continue. Okay. Okay, so since in the previous row I did, let me go check the other one. I did an increase. You can see it right there. Where's the other one? Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right there. So on the next row, you're not going to increase. You're going to knit all the way to the beginning of your row. Then the next row will be your increase row. Then you're gonna knit the other one all the way. So you're gonna make your notes and you're gonna do it all the way until you're on row 23. When you get to row 23, you wanna make sure that you try your sweater on and you wanna see how long, how far you have gone. Are you close at your bust circumference or are you still short? So depending on how tall you are and how tall your torso is, you're going to have to keep doing more rows. So I'm on row 18 for the large size. I think that's why I counted and I put the marker of row 18. So I did one more row, 19, and I'm on row 20 on the large size sweater. I'm going to continue until I get to row 23 so I can show you how far I have gone, okay? And we're going to try it on. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. 23 rows or 25 rows depending on how high, how long your torso is, okay? We're gonna try it on at that row count, and if we need to go longer, we will. Okay, I wanna show you how my work is looking. So I've done a couple rows, and look, I have my markers here where I did the increase. So remember that this is at the beginning of the round. If you need to put those markers at every raglan increase, you can. I do not need them, but if you feel that you need them, you should put them on. The raglan sweater will be increased at every shoulder side, and there's 2 sides to each shoulder. So that's how if you can see, there's a lot of space in between for your shoulder on each side. Our front is growing at the same way as our back because we are working on the round, okay? So I have completed 2, this will be my 3rd row, and your homework for this weekend is to complete 23 or 25 rows from where we started today. And then we will try the sweater on and make sure that is the length that we want. If not, we will keep on increasing on the shoulder part. Okay, so that's all that I have for you for this class. So it is a short class compared to the last one, and from here on out it's going to be a lot easier. For some of you it might even be boring because all we're doing is a stock knit and learning the rag. very easy to finish the sweater. So our next project is also very easy, and here it is. I want to show you how advanced I am, and this is going to be also a design by me, and is being made with this beautiful cotton yarn. Is by the brand Círculo from Brazil. I like this brand a lot. It has a lot of yardage for the price. I believe this is only like $13 or $14 and is over 500 yards. It's $14. And Sparkle color 7030 batch so and so is size 1 fingering, and you can wash it. You cannot dry it just because it has the beautiful shine. But most of their yarn you can also dry it, tumble dry. So here's the information, and if you can purchase some of it or any cotton that you have that is size 1 fingering, you should be able to create this beautiful summer top. And this is just like a pullover. Okay, so here's our front. So if you can see the beautiful pattern, is a repeat, the motif in the center, and then we have just single crochet doing the just grabbing the back loop only, or front loop, depending on if you're going up or down. This is constructed from left to right, growing it, and then you're gonna get to, once you get to your measurement, you are going to start crocheting to the back of your garment and increasing to make your the opening for your sleeve. Okay, so this is the new project that we're going to be working on in September. We also have another knitting project that if you watch my shorts, you will see that beautiful fall sweater that is also coming up. So I leave you with these two beautiful projects, and please stay tuned to complete your raglan sweater. It's very rewarding when you see your sweater completely completed, and it's a beautiful piece that you will treasure for a long time. Thank you for watching. If this video has helped you, can you please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and share the video. Many blessings to you and your family. Ciao, ciao.